and Tenables. Welcome, by the way, to Love Them Knives channel, YouTube channel, the international headquarters right here in Southern Florida. And we are talking about Tenable Shard, King Name, Ning, King Ning. Did you hear that? Kim Ning. No, I haven't started drinking yet, but I'm considering it now, apparently. Gray aluminum with a diamond pattern. I was going to call it cross-hatching. Apparently it's diamond. Look at all these little pyramids. And Egypt thinks they're special. Look at how many pyramids they build every second over in the production place in China. I mean, it's amazing, right? Egypt's got nothing on you, baby. But these are much smaller pyramids, by the way. 14C28N, getting way offline here, way offline. Shard. And you know what? It's not hard to love a shard. It really isn't. This came out a couple years ago under, of course, not Tenable, but Concept. But this is their Concept is, got the line of Tenables now to be the affordable line. And this is very affordable. Yes, crossbar lock or whatever they're calling it. What are they calling it? Crossbar, axis? Whatever. I mean, there's like 4 or 5 different names for it now. So, yeah, and they give you an extra group of Omega springs, by the way. I was gonna show you that, but then apparently I got lazy. And here it is. Oh, you get a microfiber cloth too. Oh, there you go. There's your. So Omega springs, bang, bang, and one's pointing one way and one's pointing the other way because they are particular to the side. There's a right side and a left side, just like there's a right and a wrong. A right and a wrong. I've just never figured that shit out. Okay, and so, yeah, Kim Ning, who, of course, did the original Shard, but he's the designer of the knife, and, of course, now they make it in the Tenable line. And it's got a liner to it. Wow. And this is aluminum. Now, you don't have to get the aluminum. But then again, I'll give you a link. You can go check out. I think they got even in micarta and probably in G10 as well. I didn't go over the whole line. I just saw this kind of gray, and I thought, oh, that's what I wanted. And then they have them in some crazy colors, too, and I don't have those pictures down here. Look, tell you about the design. Okay, and the designer at Kaiser, he served as production director, etc. Right? Okay, and that's why Concept seems a lot like Kaiser. And versatile reverse tanto. I didn't even say, but solid crossbar. Okay, they are calling it a crossbar. All that, and then you can see here, it's not a small knife. It's basically 3.5 inch, 8 inch overall length. Like 14C reverse tanto, flat grind, etc., etc. Okay, so that's it. It's all your paperwork. The test will be in 5 more minutes as I play with this knife. You can finger flick it. It's got a nice cutout on here. So if you like a reverse tanto, if you like the fact that it's $59.89 and so LTK is your discount code on White Mountain Knives. So they carry Tenables as well. So they're at $59 minus 10%, almost be $6 off. So it'd be in the low 50s. And they don't charge tax or shipping. So, okay, there's my commercial there. Because I always, when we're talking about budget knives, it's important to know how much am I going to have to pay for this knife, to the door. And stonewash blade, by the way. Oh. And by the way, let's see if I can reach clear over here and get some trash paper. And it's like, what a surprise. It cuts. Yeah, I know. But I'm always like looking to see if I can feel like maybe if there's a nick in the blade or something else. Or, the degree of sharpness. You can tell. Do enough of it, you can tell. This is pretty doggone sharp. It's pretty good. So let's get all the pieces of paper off the table now. What do you think? Didn't I tell you 3.5-inch blade and 8 inches overall? So let's see if I'm a liar. Up here, I'm a little bit of a liar. Down here, I'm not as much of a liar. But they said 3.47, so okay. Let's just call it 90 millimeters overall. It's 7.85 probably. So it's an eighth shy of 8 inches. It's 7 7/8. And 20, but see, they work off of metrics, right? So it's 20 centimeters right on the nuts, okay? So, that's good. I mean, that's probably what they were aiming for, actually. And 0.49, so that, even though they've got the aluminum scales and then these liners that are skeletonized, as you can see, really, they're keeping it under a 1/2 inch at 0.49. That's not too shabby, 12.5 millimeters. And then blade stock, let's just take a gander at that, that can't be right. Wow, 3.4 at 0.13, that's pretty thick stuff. I mean, usually I'm seeing 2.8 millimeters to 3 millimeters, but not much over 3, and definitely 3.3 is heavy duty. I mean, back in 2016, 2017, stuff like that, it was very common to see 4 millimeter thick blade stock, but they ain't doing it no more. And you know what? It makes sense not to, actually. So, let's kick this on. How heavy is it? Well, this is the aluminum one. This is not super lightweight. It's 113, let's say 114 grams if you want to round it off. So let's kick it back to ounces if I can do that without it. Okay, 4 right on there. Okay, there it is, 4 ounces. It's super fidget friendly. No, I'm not feeling any play. Of course, you start pulling it and it comes out, but I'm not feeling, wiggle or play in the detent, if that's what you want to call it on this. So that's good. And I did take my driver, and I was turning this here, and yeah, because it's a number 8, and this is a number 8, and God, I can't see through the camera worth of crap. Okay, now we got it. But I think I was turning it. Yeah, and the whole thing's turning, see? So it's not a captured pivot at all. And so, do I want to take this apart? No, I don't. I just don't like taking apart the ones that are crossbar locks because the omega springs and the difficulty reassembling can be a pain in the ass. You can do it, but I wouldn't do it unless I'm really dedicated to wanting to pull it apart to do service work or cleaning or whatever on it, or maybe replacing an omega spring, etc. So, and there's your standoffs. Couldn't think of the name there, but there's the standoffs. I guess this is where you're going to put your lanyard if you are going to do that, because there is no lanyard hole in here. And of course, you've been staring at this, which means you can take the deep carry pocket clip off and flip it over on this side. So, I mean, fit and finish on these knives is fine. They're great. No problems there. This is centered up, unless I've uncentered it by spinning that bit. No, I didn't. Well, I didn't unscrew anything because I was just turning the whole thing, so obviously. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's got to be bearings in there. I'm sure it is. And nice, centered up. Like I said, nothing there. Finger flickable. Super easy to kick out just by using the crossbar lock. Detent is typical for crossbar lock, axis lock type knives. They usually don't have a whole lot of heavy detent on them. On the other hand, this is the way you can open your knife if you need to, so you could do that. And yeah, this is cool. I kind of like this. Is it really kind of a gunmetal or almost a bluish gray on this aluminum? Some people don't like aluminum as a, as a scale material because, after a while, yeah, you can scratch it up and you can scratch the ano stuff, this and that. But it depends. For me, I like G10. I like G10 a lot. So I could be just as happy with G10 on here. And I think G10, I don't know, maybe it'd make it a little lighter. But that's a good question, actually, because aluminum's not terribly heavy. But 4 ounces, it feels decent. The ergos are respectable. And you've got a little cutaway here, so you can strop it, you can sharpen it. Here's your model number, obviously, T1006 V4. So, all in all, the Shard, it's out, it's available, it's a Tenables now, so it's not going to cost you $180 or whatever, like the titanium S35 or whatever model would. And so this is going to be a nice carry user. I don't see anything wrong with the design. Do you? I mean, here's a little break, but I mean, this happens a lot on crossbar locks, doesn't it? Because of this, where they need to have this come into play with the stop and then having the crossbar come across the back of the blade here. So you got to move the stop forward, which means you got to cut this away a little bit, So, okay. But I mean, blade to handle length looks good too. So, all in all, and they do check out the color, because they have some crazy color scheme stuff on here too. And I think they were looking at maybe, well, shit, if they were going to do a Desert Warrior type motif. I kept thinking I saw that in some of the pictures they sent me. And then I could be thinking of something else. But they have some that are wild colors and stuff that you can get with great graphic type stuff on them and this and that. So in the Tenables line, so they wouldn't be very expensive as well. And of course, you get a nice box. You don't get a zipper pouch or anything. Get a microfiber cloth and another set of Omega springs. And yeah, it feels fine in the hand. It's sharp out of the box. What more can you ask for? It's Tenables, that's for sure. And I'll put the links and everything down below. And you guys, stay sharp.